Hello and welcome, as it is the day of the 24th of February 2018, and we're taking a look at Bitcoin on the 1 minute time frame, which had an interesting moment occur several hours ago, as I'm going to scroll this to show several periods, and I'll do that now. And it occurred right in here. So let's scroll to that moment. This is on the Bitfinex exchange, the main one that I do when I show these charts. And on this particular session, the market went down to 9,500 when it was trading at around a little over 10,000 of the time, basically selling for an additional 5% from where the price was. Of course, anyone who can buy in here is able to arbitrage, and it is very clear that this is one person who executed such an act. When you look at the volume in here, big volume was being moved compared to all the other periods. So someone just had a lot of Bitcoin and just basically exhausted thousands of bids, well, thousands of dollars, or hundreds of dollars rather, worth of bid orders and a numerous amount of bids. We look at the volume, I can see that it has a total of, well, I can see the numbers up top. One's the moving average of the volume, I think. Well, the bigger number would be 158 volume, it says. So however, I don't know what the exact number would be. I guess it's tough to read. However, it was many millions of dollars, several millions I'll state, that was being dumped on the market by somebody. We take a look at this on the coin exchange index. Well, I guess yeah, coin exchange, or Coinbase rather, is what I meant to say. And we go to the same time frame, 1 o'clock. Nothing of such occurred then. There was no flash crash that happened, not even close. So what does this mean? Well, this is just to understand when you see stuff like this happen and markets go down or up really fast, it is either one big buyer or a large group. In a large group scenario, it would not happen in a 1 minute time frame and it's over. So obviously, I see this, I want to talk about this because I want to relate this to alternate coin markets. That's the whole point of doing this video. And I state in the situations when it happens in altcoins, I mean, why would you do such a major bad play when you could just sell elsewhere? When you're talking about a 5%, 6% move, why the reason was to sell, I don't care. But it's okay, it's better to, it's not as big of a deal to try to gain 2 or 3% by selling on multiple exchanges. So you can technically get away with selling a whole bunch on the market without really moving it that much. I'm going to go back in time to PPC, and this is 2016 and the daily chart. So we're looking at Halloween into November at this time, and then these moves in which you see this is happening multiple times, which is really odd. But within these kinds of markets, whenever you do something like this and either buy or sell big because they are less liquid, then you can buy it up to double the price or reduce it 20, 30, 40, 50, 60%, even 80% if you are a very big game player. Whereas in a big game player in the Bitcoin, well, it depends on how big you are, because I'm going to go over one example, I guess, in this video now that I haven't done yet at the end. But as it goes on, there's the big situation. I don't know what happened there, but the markets always will come back to where they came from. Maybe they'll adjust the trend accordingly. But yeah, what I want to talk about now is big money, because I was going to do a video about this, is how do you buy Bitcoin at 10,000 and ensure that you're not going to see the price go any lower. And that's like so simple, so easy. You want to buy Bitcoin at 10 grand, but you don't want to see the prices go to 5,000 or 6,000 or even 8,000. I'll tell you how you do it, although you might not be able to do it. So here we have the Bitcoin price. You want to buy it, and you never want to see it go much ever below 10,000 ever again. Well, this is what I want you to do. Go into exchange. I don't know if it matters if you go with a bigger one or a smaller one, but put a buy order in to buy 21 million Bitcoin at $10,000. 21 million. And I guarantee you your order will not completely fail. I can guarantee you that. Now, what would happen if anyone actually did this and the exchanges didn't do anything to screw you over when you make such a large deposit is it would probably get noticeable that someone's making an insane buy order, and the prices could never ever really go down below it. Because if anyone tries to do anything like sell this thing down below 9,000 or 8,000 on any exchanges, they'll arbitrage it back up, and well, quite frankly, you'll just be buying a whole bunch of Bitcoin. You might own every single Bitcoin when the game is over. No, you will not. But the whole point of me stating this, other than technically you could keep the price below it, and at 15 million Bitcoins to buy at a $10,000 price, all you would need is a little over about $150 billion. No, $210 billion. You put a buy order by 21. That's my 21 million Bitcoin buy order. You're going to need about 21 or $210 billion. You put it up, put the buy order in. Prices will never, ever, ever see the lower levels again. But $210 billion, there's really hardly anyone that is worth that much, although I guess maybe some very few rich elite. But as far as what one person could do with the market when you have 40, 50, 100 million, and when you get a large number of participants, and when I say that, large number of participants, I'm really referring to the actual top 1% of the holders and how many different people represent the top 1%. And when that number is pretty decent, and I think in the Bitcoin scenario it is, then if you're a big game player and you're like, you really will have a hard time even trying to get into Bitcoin without really just making it go too sky high. It'd almost be impossible. And overall, when you talk about the market caps for everything, when you look at how the derivative markets, how large they get, the US fiat currencies and all other world fiat currencies combined, that you can make a case, given that mathematical variable, that the $1 million price for one Bitcoin isn't really all that outrageous. And if it is outrageous, well, everything that has preceded Bitcoin is outrageous. And the well over 20 trillion debt fiasco and derivative market, well, that's outrageous as well. So when world equals outrageous moments, expecting outrageous events to occur again shouldn't be that big of a surprise. Thank you for tuning in.